Hey guys, so I am back with another process video using my mini kit series number 3 stash kit, and today I'm going to be using these 3 photos. So these 3 photos, my original plan was to have them go in a strip, and I printed them too small accidentally, and I didn't want to print them again because it was just too much of a fuss, so I decided to go with it. And ideally I would have liked them to be maybe like 3.5 by 3.5 or something like that, just bigger, so they would take up more of the space, and that way they will also be more visible, because right now the pictures you can't really see them. So I am going to start with some 12 by 12 ideas. So here I had this black piece of paper, and I liked how the photos looked on that, but there was a chunk cut out of it and I didn't have another piece, so I was trying to figure out a way to use it as a background, and I cut that heart paper to kind of layer in the bottom, but it was just too bold. And then I went into a couple of other paper kit things that I have, just my loose paper and a collection kit there, to see if there was anything else that I could use as a background, because for some reason I didn't want to use white. But then I decided, so this paper is from Carta Bella collection. It's a Summer Loving, I think it's called. And I decided that was just too much, and I'm not going to use that pink paper in the end. And I'm also deciding here that I do like my photos matted on that 6x6 piece. So then decide I'm just going to go back to white, and I am going to start by just roughly cutting a mat for all 3 of these photos. And then I decide that I just want to kind of cluster them together rather than making them into a strip. And that's when I decided I'm going to switch it over to an A4 size layout, which is approximately 8.5 by 11, just because that way the pictures were you could see the pictures much more. They stood out a bit more on the smaller size page because of the fact that they're so, they were too small for a 12 by 12. At least for me. I mean, like, for someone else it might have not been. So anyway, and now I'm just gonna play around with some layers. I took a strip of that pink floral paper, and I'm gonna add this paper because it brings in some blue and a bit, and I really like the text that's on it. I'm not sure if you can see it on the video, but there is a subtle text behind the florals. And then I'm gonna add foam to all of my photos and just glue them down, and I cut that out because I don't think you need to see me cutting up little bits of foam for 10 minutes. So I just used a sheet of foam that you can buy at any craft store, and just kind of cut it up to the size that I wanted. So then I'm going to pull out my chipboard to see what pieces I could possibly use on here, since that is the inspiration piece for the kit, and that is what I'm trying to use up. So I just peeled off the sticky part of it so I could use it freely on the page, and I wasn't sure where I wanted to put that, so I'm going to go ahead and cut out some cut-aparts from that cut-apart sheet, and that's by Maggie Holmes Bloom, but it was the cheap thin paper that you buy from Joann's. And I'm just gonna layer a couple of things there and put that pinwheel down there. I thought the pinwheel kind of worked since I'm doing a cartwheel. I know it's kind of weird, but I like the black accent it added, and it also had some of that cream color that's in the papers I'm using, so I just went with it. And then I decided that I want another cluster, so I'm going to make one down at the bottom. I have 2 frames cut out from a 6x6 paper that I had cut out from the previous layout, and I put those there for a second, but then I decided that I didn't like them, and I instead replaced it with this text print for the time being. And yeah, and that chipboard piece is from the Becky Higgins Inspire chipboard watercolor pack, and it's also something I'm trying to use up, so that's good. And then I also added a bit of the pink paper and a bit of the floral paper that I have in the photo cluster, just to kind of have a continuance going. I'm not sure if that's a word, so I'm sorry if it's not. And then I just to bring in a bit more of that chipboard, and also trying to use something up and fill in some space, I'm going to use those 2 kind of border or corner stickers. I'm going to tuck one in behind That's Such a Lovely Day piece, and then one up at the top. And then I'm just going through the other embellishments that I have included in my kit to try to see if there's anything else that I want to add to the page, because it still feels a bit empty to me. So I went through that sticker book by Chamel and then just some other sticker sets that I had, and I decided I didn't like anything, but I do decide that I like how everything else is looking, so I glued everything to each other, but not yet on the page because I'm thinking that I might do some mixed media. But we will see. I was still skeptical. I will be doing some mixed media, but I was still skeptical at that moment if I wanted to do some or not. So yeah, just keep gluing things on. I was trying to position that piece just in the right way so it wouldn't fall off the page and you could see the whole phrase while it was tucked under the photos. And now I decided I'm going to take the silver metallic paint because it does have a shine to it, and it's a bit gray, and it kind of goes with the wood grain and the florals and everything that I have going on at the moment. So yeah, that is that. I just used my palette knife and spread it on. It was an acrylic paint, so I didn't need any gesso or anything. I just sprayed the paint out of I got the paint out of the bottle and put it on the page. And then I inked the side of the page to add a bit more boldness and bring in a bit more of the black that I have going on in that pinwheel. And then I decided to do some blue splatter just to bring in the blue that's in the florals a bit more because I don't know, it just felt a bit too pink and grayish. And then I decided I'm going to outline everything again just to bring a bit more of black, and also had like a really doodly kind of feel. I don't know, I just felt in the mood to do that. And as I'm using a black gel pen. And then I'm also going to outline the whole page because the ink wasn't enough, and I've also got the outlining in the clusters, so I thought doing the whole page was appropriate. And now I'm going to add just a tiny bit of journaling. And of course, I was impatient and didn't wait for the splatter to dry, so I'm going to have some blobs of black ink because I wrote on top of wet paint and it kind of dissolved. So yeah, just wait until it's dry before you write journaling. And then just to bring in, I don't know why, but I can't have journaling in just one space. I need to have my handwriting in all clusters, even if it's just a little bit. So I'm adding the date to the bottom cluster and the location. So just to add a bit more of that, of my handwriting somewhere else. And then I thought that maybe the sequins would be a nice addition. So I'm kind of playing around with these yellow ones, but I'm not going to end up using them. I don't know, it just felt a bit weird on the page. Put them back, and I thought I was done, so I'm gonna start putting a couple of things away. And then I came back because that bottom part there that was white felt too white, so I'm gonna make another little cluster over there as well. And I'm just splattering again the two papers that I have in both clusters, and then one of those frames to bring in the gray. And then I did that, yeah. And then I'm gonna add a little something too. And then I also did some mixed media on the back just to have the silver everywhere. And then I felt like I needed something to layer on top of those paper elements like I did on the cluster opposite, so I found this little heart. So thank you all so much for watching. I will have Caitlin's video linked in the description below. Don't forget to check out her channel. And so you don't miss any new kits coming up, don't forget to hit subscribe, and thanks so much for watching. I will see you next time.